Hello, everybody. So I'm just like trying all these little things that now everybody's doing everything correctly. Yay! You're probably going to hear a kitty cat or a puppy dog run through or make noises because the cat wants to go outside and the dog is going insane. So, yes, that's my cat. He is a bit noisy at this moment, and here comes the dog. So, thank you. This is how everybody loves to watch the show, correct? Hi, Molly, and Ron says Molly and I will be watching. Woohoo! Love you. You're awesome. So yeah, I am here. It is the Celtic Rain Radio Show, and I am so excited about tonight. Now, we have a little bit of stuff to talk about, which is kind of sad. But URN was supposed to be on tonight, URN, and several of the band members and the lead singer's wife all have COVID, and I've been messaging them for like a couple days now, and nobody's answering me. So I messaged him last week, and he answered me back, said he was doing better, and possibly we'd be able to talk to him today, but he's not answering me now, so I am going to assume he's still really, really sick. So let's definitely keep them in our prayers. And if you know him, reach out and tell him that we're just thinking about them. So URN is not going to be on tonight, but what I have done, because it's the same guy from Ohikada, right? So what we're gonna do is I have cut and pasted. I have the old recordings from he's interviewed with us twice, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just gonna replay his interview, but the songs that he'll be talking about in the interview will not be the songs that we'll be playing tonight, because I want you guys to hear some more of his songs, not just the ones you've heard before. So we're gonna play some URN songs for you tonight that you guys haven't heard before, or maybe you have heard them, just not on this show. So that'll be really, really awesome. This is the Celtic Rain Radio Show. This show is here for you. Well, we play all kinds of music, all genres of music, and I started this show during lockdown because there was no place that I knew of where small label and independent artists could get their stuff played and get out there. And us being a small label and independent artist, as Celtic Rain and as other groups, there was really no place that would be able to play our stuff. For instance, someone that we play a lot is Quincy Farrell, and he says, "Hi, hello, Quincy, how are you?" So sometimes we have these beautiful people that have amazing music, right? But they're just not played, and so that's what this show is for. So if you are a small label or independent artist, the only requirements I have for you to be on my show is there's really only two. Well, three. Number one, you're a small label or an independent artist. The big guys don't need me. It's just the way it is. So, also, keep it family friendly. Let's just be nice to people, right? Like, let's not hate on people. It's just not worth it. And number three, I probably won't play anything that's more than like 6 to 8 minutes long, just because that's a lot of minutes if it's past that. So people kind of lose people, and it's understandable, right? So I love songs that are like epic, but I can't play them on the show. They're just a little bit too long for the show. So I do thank you for them, though. I will say this: you send me what you send me, and I will play it. Like, I'm telling you. The more you send me, the more I play. I put them in a rotation so that you get played once a show, depending on how many you send me. I never play them month to month, back to back. So one song might, like, if I like to play, if it has like a certain month, if it's in like an April, May, June, you might get played again. That song might get played again in July. That way it can kind of have a rotation, and I can get all the songs in there. Really, really have a great variety of music. So you can send that music to celticrain777@gmail.com. celticrain777@gmail.com. That's where you can send that. And I please send me MP3s. You can send them straight to me as attachments, or you can send them in a Google Drive. But I do not go to Bandcamp and download your songs. It charges me. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to YouTube and download your music there. You need to send me MP3s. Okay, guys? That's the way to do it, because then I can put it in my program and do all the stuff. If somebody else sends me your music on your behalf and they're not authorized to do so, I can't play it, because I need you to send it to me so that, or whoever's authorized to send it to me on your behalf, because that way, legally, I have the right to play it, right? I know. It's crazy how that works. But this is the Celtic Rain Radio Show. If you would like to watch the whole thing, sometimes Facebook cuts me off in the end and sometimes in the middle. Always, you can always find the whole show as it's recorded live on www.youtube.com/C for channel /Celtic Rain. That's right. Do you want to see everything? Come to the YouTube channel. Do you want to be part of the show like I just did? And I put comments up, right? And it's, as I say, see, look, watch. There's a comment right there. Quincy was just part of the show. Isn't that amazing? Then you need to go to the YouTube channel, right? So that's kind of how this works. I do want to say thank you so much for all the music. About every 3 to 4 months, I put it out on Facebook on different groups saying, hey, send me your music. I want to thank all the people who sent me music today. It was amazing. And I'm probably going to get more tomorrow, which is awesome. I usually collect them, and then one of the days of the week I sit down and just listen to everything and put it all in my little charts. I have all sorts of charts and organizational styles. But tonight, you will be hearing a pre-recorded interview, the interview portions, with the lead singer of Ohigada and URN. He's the same guy. So, you know, he has COVID right now, and so we're kind of letting him heal. But I wanted his songs to get played. So, first though, we're going to hear Rocky Road to Dublin by Celtic Rain. Celtic Rain is our group. That's my group. And my husband sings this. Samuel Lawson. And then we're going to hear The King of Rome by Laughing Jack. It's a Celtic folk song. This is going to go from one Celtic to another Celtic. It's really awesome, right? And then we have Courage in Your Name by Jennifer Medcalf. It's a folk Christian tune, coming into your own and healing through belief and song. It's, you know, Jennifer was one of my first that I interviewed. Actually, I think she might have been the first person I interviewed on this show. And so she is just so sweet and amazing. I would love to have her back on. You guys need to get to know her a little bit more. She's pretty amazing. So anyway, I can't wait for you to hear this amazing music. And so let's see what we can do right now and show you this absolutely awesome music. You ready? All right, let's go.
In the merry month of May, from me home I started, left the girls of 10, nearly broken-hearted, saluted father dear. Kiss me darling mother, drink a pint of beer, my grief and tears to smother, off to reap the corn, leave where I was born, I cut the stout black dawn, the band is coursing, got in a brand new pair of brogues, so rattled all the bogs and frightened all the dogs, on the rocky road to Dublin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, and back for all the round. Mullingar at night, a rested limb, so where he started by daylight, next morning bright and there he took a drop of the pure. Keep me heart from sinking, that's in Paddy's cure. Whenever he's on for drinking, see the lassie smile, laughing all the while at me curious style. Would help your heart to bubble, and they asked if I were hired, wages I required till I was almost tired. All the rocky road to Dublin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up the hill and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, and whack for Loderon. From there I got away, my spirits never failed, and landed on the quay. Just as the ship was sailing, the captain at me roared, said that no room had he when I jumped on board. Cabin found for Paddy, down among the pigs, I played some funny rigs, a dance, some hearty jigs, so water ran me bubbling off to Holyhead. I wished myself were dead, or better far instead, on the rocky road to Dublin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up the hair and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, and whack for Loderah. At Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself a fool. I could no longer stand it, my blood began to boil. Temper I was losing, poor old Erin's idol. They began to loosen her armies. I left by some Galway boys came by, and so I was a home. Then with a loud hooray, they joined in the fray. We quickly cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hair and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, and whack for Loderah.
On the west end of Derby lives a working man. Says I can't fly, but me pigeons can. But when I set them free, it's just like a part of me gets lifted up on silver wing. Charlie Hudson's pigeon loft was down the yard of a rented house on Brook Street where life was hard. But Charlie had a dream, and in 1913 he bred a bird that could make his dreams come true. There was going to be a champions race from Italy. Charlie looked at a map, all that land and sea. Charlie, you lose that bird, but Charlie never heard. He put it in a basket and he sent it off to Rome. On the day of the big race, a storm blew in. 1,000 birds were swept away and never seen again. Charlie, we told you so. Surely by now you know, when you're living in the West End, there ain't many dreams come true. Yeah, I know, but I had to try. A man can walk on earth, or he can learn to fly. When you're living around here, the ground can seem so near. Sometimes I need a lift from victory. I was going to the pub with me mates for a pint or two, when I saw a wing flash out of the blue. Charlie, it's the king of Rome, come back to his West End home. Come quickly now, he's perched up on the roof. Come down, your majesty. I knew you'd make it home to me. Come down, my lovely one. You made my dreams come true. On the west end of Derby lives a working man. Says I can't fly, but me pigeons can. And when I set them free, it's just like a part of me gets lifted up on silver wing. And when I set them free, it's just like a part of me gets lifted up on silver wing.
I've already made. Breaking free from where I am doesn't seem like it could be. So I wait, worry, wonder what will become of me. 'Cause I've forgotten who I am, who you intended me to be. I was made for faith and love. I was not made for misery. I will remember that from you who set me free. I will arise and claim my courage in your name, my courage in your name. You've promised me your presence. Forgive my unbelief. I've chosen to instead in things that I could see, but you've overcome the world for me. The least that I could do is remember I'm your daughter and place my trust in you. But I've forgotten who I am, who you intended me to be. I was made for faith and love. I was not made for misery. I will remember that my power comes from you who set me free. I will arise and claim my courage in your name, my courage in your name. Sometimes the courage that I need is to face another day. You are here beside me, and in your promise I have faith. Nothing could ever keep me from the joy that is you, and that promise gives me courage for the things I'm going through. And I remember who I am, who you intended me to be. I am made for faith and love. I was not made for misery. I will remember that my power comes from you who set me free. So I arise and claim my courage in your name, my courage in your name. Abba Father, Jesus Savior, I take courage in your name. Firm foundation, light of the world. courage in your name. My courage in your name.
Jennifer she's just such a sweet, sweet person. And she's just so awesome. Again, I would like to, I thank everybody who sends me music. You guys' music is just so awesome. And I'm honored to be able to play it. Remember, I play all genres. And so we are actually going to be hearing, the URN was supposed to be on tonight. And some of them have COVID. And they live in Florida, of all places, right? The epicenter at this moment. So let's definitely keep them in our prayers right now, because that's a scary situation to go through. And they were actually scheduled to get their vaccination, literally the week after, and they got COVID beforehand. So let's really, really keep them in your prayers. You guys get vaccinated. It's not political. It's for your own good. If you can, obviously, if you can't, we will get vaccinated so that you're protected. But we love you so much. And so I want you to be safe, because I love you. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to an interview that I did with the lead singer of URN, who is also the lead singer of Ohikata. Because, see, I don't know about you, but if you're a musician like we are, we play all over the place with different bands, right? Of course. I play with Celtic Rain, because that's me and my husband and our piper, right? And then I play with the Lute and the Lady, which is me and my husband, which is our Ren Fair group, right? And now I play with Gentle Rain, which is under the Rain family, Gentle Rain Jazz, which is the jazz group with me, my husband, and Ron Fife. And then I play with Philadelphia Phil and Friends when I can. And then I play with other groups as needed. Samuel plays with like all sorts of different groups. So it's really hilarious. So sometimes, especially if you're like, that's what you do, is you're a musician. You play with all sorts of different groups. And so this is one of his other bands, but this is the lead singer of Ohikata. So we're going to listen to the interview I did back in July with him. And so during the interview parts, that's what you're going to see. So it is pre-recorded, so you can comment and I can put them up there. But he can't answer your questions until later, because I can always send him your questions or your comments. It might be really awesome to put up blessings for him, because he might be watching this right now, for him and his family and his band right now. Let's really keep them in our prayers, because this thing is it's harsh, people. Okay, so here we go. Let's see it. But guys, you're right. I changed the little thing at the bottom, didn't I? Crazy. And I've been saying it wrong the whole time. But they have a whole thing where they're like, who's going to say our name right? So good to know that I totally lost that game. Absolutely lost the game. I was saying Ohikata, which is wrong. It's Ohikada with a D. Da. Hookada, and he's going to come on and he's going to tell me I'm wrong even then, but that's okay. So we have, now understand, we already interviewed Hookada, and you should go and watch the original one, because it's really awesome. There's 3 of the band members there. Today we're going to talk to the lead singer, and he writes quite a few of the songs as well. So let's just bring him on, because why not? Hey! And there he is. He's just already writing music. It's amazing. It's just the way it is.
Sorry.
Hey!
Come here now.
How are you?
Good, Rebecca. Good to see you too. I'm good. Just being a little goofy because you asked me to be.
Oh yeah, no. Today's all about goofy. So the thing is like my show, it's all about having fun. That's the thing. It's like, let's get to know each other. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's ask some questions and then have a lot of fun.
Sure.
And then let's listen to some great music and then have a lot of fun. Like that's the whole thing.
Wonderful.
Literally. The
Sounds
whole
like a good
thing.
Tuesday
So,
evening.
yeah. I know, right? I know. So, dude, it's been a while, but it's not been
Yeah.
too long.
It's been a couple months
so
now.
good.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think
getting
I
to
think
know,
we
like,
spoke.
seeing you perform.
I think we talked in February just before we went on our tour for St. Patrick's Week,
Yeah.
which was probably about maybe, well, let's see, we're in July, so it's about 4 or 5 months now. So yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah.
So
You guys were like my second or third interview.
oh wow.
No, you were
Okay.
my second because I recorded you. My third one, I was like, no, we got to do this live, and like we totally changed it up. And I'm like, what the heck? Because the recordings were like glitching and whatever. I
Right.
figured it out later, but still, I was because you're learning in the beginning. I
Of
was
course.
learning in the beginning, so it was really cool to like get to know you guys and be like, where are you? Oh my God, you're in Florida. What? That's crazy, And I know, and I'm like, I want to be in Florida, but but especially in February, I would
Oh, God,
definitely
yeah.
wanted to be in Florida in February. It
Yeah,
was
Indianapolis
just-
isn't very fun in the wintertime. I've had spent many a year in there, and when I was in my Chicago days, we'd come to Indianapolis almost once a month, and that's great. Places like Radio over there in the Fountain Square district under Tufty, and places like that were great. The goth scene, the metal scene, all that, kind of hand in hand type thing.
Yeah, and you're right. We have an amazing group of people. There's amazing scenes. There's great things to do, actually. Really amazing stuff. But then you're like, I tell you, right about February, you're kind of done with everything cold, and you just
Oh, yeah.
you just need a moment.
But-
You just need one moment.
But the problem is you
that's when
got
a
2 more
lot of
months
people
of winter when you get to February. It doesn't
I
start
know.
to thaw out
So
until the end
like,
of April.
it's like for like a week, you go to like Florida, and then you come back and you're ready to take on the rest of the winter. Like
Yeah.
literally, that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people like,
Oh, yeah.
nope, I need a week. I'll be back. Bye. But during pandemic, we couldn't. It
Right.
wasn't quite with us, at least. We weren't quite there. We weren't quite opening up yet. So it was like, well,
Well, we
because
opened
nothing-
in August of last year because our political leaders here. And I don't make any political statements, but they just felt the need that okay, you know what, we're gonna do a soft reopen. So in August, everything opened at 50%, and I think we've been at 100% for several months now. But a lot of it's left to the individual owner of the establishment as to what they want to do. Like I play a lot of Irish pubs all across the state, up and down, north and south, down in the Keys. And-
welcome to our world.
Right. And generally a lot of them, some of them are only at 50%. Some of them feel it's not worth it for them to be open at 50%. They've got to do the full 100% and start getting back into the black, things like that. So it depends.
Yeah. You know what? And really, when we first started opening up and started playing again in March, it was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. I don't know about any other musicians out there, but just to play live again was just so beautiful. It was just like, I think I cried a little. I think I cried. I'm not gonna lie.
I can
Definitely
imagine.
cried just a little.
Mhm.
I was just like, that's so nice. Okay, let me sing. Well, before I, can't sing anymore because
Yeah.
I'm crying too much. But yeah. So, those are the things. So I know we've already talked about this in the last interview, but just for people who didn't hear, tell us a little bit about the band, where the name came from, because that's
Sure.
an interesting name.
Yeah, it is.
Saying.
Absolutely. So it's hashtag say our name right. No, I'm kidding. It
Which
is,
I didn't.
well, a lot of people don't. I
tried.
mean, actually, we're actually doing a promo reel where we're having everybody butcher the pronunciation of the name. It's kind of fun. So I might have you do the way you were saying it. It's kind of cool because you say it a little bit differently than a lot of other people because nobody gets it right. We walk into a lot of Irish pubs. Like we played the Celtic Ray Public House in Punta Gorda. Phenomenal place if you're ever in that area. And poor Kevin, the owner, the proprietor, the publican, he's like, how do you say your name? And it's like, it's O'Hickada, which is Gaelic for the last name of Hickey, which is my traditional family name. And Hickey is, like the thing on the neck. It's kind of a very popular Irish name. It's about as common,
Nice.
I think, in the phone book over in Ireland, if people have phone books anymore. Let's say like Miller or Smith would be here in the United States. So when I kind of did I was doing a research project in high school, kind of what people spend a lot of money doing on Ancestry.com now, you know. But we were doing that for a history project my freshman year, and when my father's mother was still alive, I was able to work on this with her, and that's how we were able to trace the family name. So it's Hickey, but the Gaelic version of it is Ohikada, which I believe translates to like of physician, is what I think it goes to in the Gaulish or something of that nature. I'm still kind of doing a little bit more research.
That's
on
a lot better than Hickey.
It is, isn't it? You know,
yeah, like a lot.
Yeah, a lot better. There are a lot of things better than the Hickey. I mean, you know, trust me. And when you okay.
Just say it.
No, when you grow up with a name like that, it lends to a very interesting childhood, let me tell you.
Oh, I can only imagine. It's so funny. I have a comment here. It's kind of funny. There's a comment in the comment section that says, "Hey, Dominic," but it just says Facebook user.
Well, that could be a few people.
So I'm like, so you can just say hi to whoever.
We'll play a little game here if you don't mind. Okay, so I'm gonna go on a limb. It's gonna be one of 10 people. So I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna either go with Armani. I'm gonna go with Armani. Hi, Armani. Could be Ray. I don't know.
Hi,
It could be Lynn. Lynn. I don't know.
Hi, Lynn.
She falls in. So there's a few people. Who knows? I know it's not my wife because she's tuned me out and she's watching Game of Thrones in the living room. She's like, "How the hell with you?" But
spouses are so amazing.
They are. So, but it's a hiccup.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So you guys are in Florida, which is awesome. But you perform all over Florida. Do you just perform in specific places in Florida?
Well, we're all over the country, quite honestly. Like I said, I performed a couple of years ago prior to the pandemic. I performed at the Ligonier Highlander Games just outside of Pittsburgh, where most of my family's from. So I'm in with a lot of the Irish community up there as well. I have a lot of friends in the Buffalo Irish community. I'm going to say hi to Troy and Kim and Sophie and Max if they might be watching, or if not, they will be soon. So it's kind of been blessed that I've been able to travel across the country, and we also have some contacts in Canada as well, in terms of some venues that once the borders open, we might have the opportunity to travel north of the border and play a couple of shows as well.
That would be amazing. I know we're kind of waiting for that too. Your Facebook user said not Armani.
Not Armani. So I'm going to go Ray. Is it Ray? Okay. So we'll see what happens.
This is now a game that never ends.
This will give me a game.
I know, right? So tell me about Empty Promises, because we're going to hear that next. Tell me
Sure.
about
Empty Promises is a song that I had written a number of years ago. My sister Carol actually kind of helped me work some of the lyrical content of it. And what it is, it's kind of like a lot of people might be familiar with Bob Seger's song Turn the Page. It was about, being a musician on the road. So Empty Promises was kind of something like that. It was inspired, not specific to any one girl that I was dating, but it was inspired by multiple relationships that just wasn't going to pan out because of my life and career choices. So when you're back in the, say about 25, 30 years ago, when you're touring all the time, tours would take you away from home 3 months at a time. So it just wasn't much an opportunity to be a family person or be in a commitment relationship. And so Empty Promises was basically about that. It was kind of like a letter to all the women I had loved once before that just kind of ended up ending because I decided to pursue a dream of music. And it's not that I had a fear of commitment, but by the same token, I also just felt like it wasn't where I was in my life at that time.
Well, sometimes it's not a fear of commitment because you're committed. You're committed to your career.
Well, there's that. But,
and it's fine, but sometimes it's not the right time, and so there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Well, awesome. We're going to hear that next, and we're going to talk to you, and you're going to dance with us. This is going to be the best part, people.
That's the best part. Okay.
Best part. And comment on his dancing because this would be fun.
Okay.
Okay. So as you see, it's pre-recorded. Dominique is he's just such a sweet guy. So it's just one of those things that we will have Earn on, and we'll just have to when they get better, because they're gonna get better, and then we'll have them on. So please keep Earn and everybody in their families in your prayers right now, because quite a few of them are down with COVID. And so we will hear a little bit of that interview, that pre-recorded interview, later on in the show. And we're not going to actually play the song he just talked about, because I would like to let you guys hear some more of his other music from Earn. So I wanted to let you hear first. You're going to hear Off of Whom We Once Were by Earn. It's an industrial metal tune. So he started out with Earn and then created Ohikata. So it's pretty awesome. And then we're gonna hear Side by Side by Adam Crabtree. Beautiful country tune. Adam's got a gorgeous voice, a great story. You need to look him up. And then we're gonna hear A Piece of the Action by 5 Year Mission. As you know, 5 Year Mission is a rock group that writes songs and sings them about Star Trek. So I'm just saying, if we got any Trekkies out there, that song is for you. I love Star Trek. I had a little bit of a last week I sat there for I'm not kidding. I sat there for 2 days and just binged Star Trek movies. It was great, people. All right? This is not a bad thing. I don't have a problem. I'm just saying. Anyways, so you guys ready for the music? Here we go.
Before you, what do you see? Am I present with you, or in a dream? we have grown apart. I know it's hard when feeling so scarred. Soon we will learn not to feel burned and have a new life that's free from the strife. And I
woke up around 7 every morning. My little one wanting to start the day. I go and pick him up, get a smile, and he's already ready to play. I put on the coffee as a new day begins, and I get ready to start this journey again. No, this ain't a short road that we're traveling down. A lot of twists and turns and sometimes are hard to get around. Well, it'll take a little longer to get where we want to go. It may not be tomorrow and it can feel a little slow, but we'll strap in and go on this ride and do it side by side. There are times where it's harder than others. Mornings when you just want to stay under the covers, but you take a deep breath and get back on your feet. 'Cause even when we get knocked down, no, we'll never be beat. No, this ain't a short road that we're traveling down. A lot of twists and turns sometimes are hard to get around. Well, it'll take a little longer to get where we want to go. It may not be tomorrow and it can feel a little slow, but we'll strap in and go on this ride and do it side by side. No, this trip won't be an easy one. Me and you together, take on anything that comes. No, this ain't a short road that we're traveling down. A lot of twists and turns sometimes are hard to get around. It'll take a little longer to get where we want to go. It may not be tomorrow and it can feel a little slow, but we'll strap in and go on this ride. Yeah, we'll strap in and go on this ride and do it side
See, it's just they're so fun. They're just so much fun. I like 5-Year Mission. They're awesome. But that's just my opinion. But anyways, this is the Celtic Rain radio show. If you have music that you would like to send me, you can send it to celticrain777@gmail.com. MP3s, please. Thank you very much. And then I can put you on the show. 2 requirements: small label artist or independent artist or band, obviously. And it has to be family friendly, meaning don't be mean. Don't be mean. Yeah, and it has to be less than at least, 8 minutes. So, there is a time constraint slightly, but there you go. But I have some amazing music coming up next, which is awesome. We have This Side of Your Wall of Fear by Philadelphia Phil. It's kind of a rockabilly tune. Phil is such an awesome guy. Anyways, and then we have The Second Seal. So Doug Fox did this whole series of the Seals, and so it's a rock instrumental tune. It's really, really interesting. And then we have Come Now to the Table by Celtic Rain. I wrote that one. Yay. So you're going to hear a little bit of everything in this next set. It's really kind of interesting, and I cannot wait for you to hear how awesome this music is. You guys ready? Let's go.
Bluster and you bellow, snarl and you sneer whenever they draw near. It's all just noise to hide the truth. This side of your wall of fear. Look into his heart, all you see is hate. He ain't making nothing great. What will you do when you discover that? Sold your soul for a cheap red hat. You say that hungry child and her mama's tears, they don't belong in the USA. They're kind of people, they ain't welcome here. This side of your wall of fear. Hide behind your steel wall of fear. So afraid when anyone comes near. You think he's a hero, but you've been fooled. Man in the White House is using you. There was a wall in Jericho, and that wall came tumbling down. You build a wall, it's bound to fall down with a mighty sound. You say that hungry child and her mama's tears, they don't belong in the USA. They're kind of people, they ain't welcome here. This side of your wall of fear. Look into his heart, all you see is hate. He ain't making nothing great. What will you do when you discover that? Sold your soul for a cheap red hat. was a wall in Jericho, and that wall came tumbling down. You build a wall, it's bound to fall down with a mighty sound. You bluster and you bellow, snarl and you sneer whenever they draw near. It's all just noise to hide the truth, this side of your wall of fear. All just noise to hide the truth, this side of your wall of fear.
When he broke the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come." And another, a red horse, went out. And to him who sat on it, it was granted to take peace from the earth, and that men would slay one another, and a great sword was given to him.
In this life, there are times when we feel that still small voice, searching here, searching there, calling out to our hearts. Trust in me and you'll see that you will never need, 'cause every time you feast on me, need to do when we come to the table. Just take part and let it consume your heart. Understand that God can bring healing and wholeness. 'Cause every time you feast on me, there is life. So come now to the table where you'll hunger no more, where your heart longs to taste and see. Come now to the feast. Can't you see you're invited to come now and eat? Come now to the table where you'll hunger no more, where your heart longs to taste and see. Come now to the feast. Can't you see you're invited to come now and eat? We cannot live on bread alone unless it's the bread of God. We cannot give a living feast. It only comes from God. We cannot live on bread alone unless it's the bread of God. We cannot give a living feast. It only comes from God. So come now to the table where you'll hunger no more, where your heart longs to taste and see. Come now to the feast. Can't you see you're invited to come now and eat? So come now to the table where you'll hunger no more, where your heart longs to taste and see. Come now to the feast. Can't you see you're invited to come now and eat? You're invited to come now and
I love that song too, David. That is probably one of my favorites as well. Yeah, just love it so much. I wrote that song. I wrote that song actually because in my ordination, we were remembering our baptism, and so the Lord's Supper, the baptism, the whole 9 yards. I love those sacraments because they're just such beautiful ways to remember faith, and it's the beautiful part of faith, right? Of just that whole taking in a part of God that is so divine and having it literally ingested within yourself. It's horrible. That's why they thought Christians were actually, cannibals, because they ate their God. But anyways, that's a whole nother story for another day. But so we are going to get back to, remember that URN URN was supposed to be with us today, but a lot of them have COVID right now, including their families. So let's keep them in our prayers. Please, please, please. Thoughts, prayers, great vibes, all that stuff. Let's send it to them. If you know them, please. Also, send them a note. Let them know that you're thinking about them. But we're going to get to our the pre-recorded second interview that we did last month with the lead singer from URN, who is also the lead singer of Ohikata. So we're talking about Ohikata in this interview, but at least you get a little bit, right? I'm just saying, at least it's something. So here we go. But it's really awesome. We have, not only did you get to hear a little bit of my history music, but you ready for this? We get a little more of Ohikata. I'm going to say this right every freaking time now.
You're saying it right
time.
now. You're saying it correctly.
Yay!
Yeah.
And I know eventually we might have somebody else with us, so that's going to be really fun.
Yeah,
and
couple of them said they were going to try and check in, so we're scattered to the four winds tonight.
Yay!
So I apologize.
Let's
for
see
that,
what happens. When they do, we'll put them in. We'll have a great time. It'll be awesome. We just need to make sure that once we get there, we'll have video and it'll be awesome. But at this moment, I have you, and believe me, that's awesome. That's more than I could ask for. Believe me, I have had other bands that just don't show up at all. So
really?
that I got one person. It's a gorgeous situation. So I have a question though. Now, of course, we know you're a full-time musician. You got all this music going on. You're like, hi, beautiful. It's just wonderful. It's music. But you have some really cool stuff in your family happening with your daughter. That's really cool stuff.
Well, given that the show's called Celtic Rain, my daughter's name is Rain, very similar, and we were pretty fortunate. She is school-aged, I'll leave it at that, but she got to be a state finalist in the National American Miss pageant for the state of Florida. And she was one of 18 girls in her age division from all over the state, from Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, Orlando. She unfortunately did not win. She did not make the court, but she did give a very valiant effort in all of the competitions. And she did really well.
That's beautiful.
What was nice about it is she did it 2 years ago in a younger age division. And it was her first time. We were in our first time. My wife and I were clueless. You know, you've got all these young girls running around. They've got their whole entourage. They've got their coach. They've got their hairstylist, their spray tanner, and everything else. It's just, it was insane. But she was able to land a couple of successful. She got scouted by a modeling agency called Premier Models, located near Smyrna Beach.
Nice.
And we're very grateful to Christine Harris and all of her staff for her belief. And she signed on with a bunch of agencies, most recently the Diamond Agency. But she's represented by 5 or 6 all across the state of Florida. So she got to work with a lot of wonderful organizations. The So Sweet Boutique was one that she got her down with in the formal competition. And it was this beautiful, one-of-a-kind, handmade, hand-sewn by the actual designer. It was really amazing. So It took me forever to try and find a tie that matched the gold Pantones of the dress. I mean, I usually wear a tuxedo when I escort her out during the formal wear competition. But she did really good. And it wasn't about winning, and that's what I told her. It was just about doing the best you can to the best of your abilities and having fun. And she really had an amazing 2 years. She just worked so hard trying to get, more
good for her.
Involved. And I think it was a very good step for her as a young woman. That's the one thing I did like about National American Miss, that it wasn't just so much, it wasn't a toddler and tiaras type of a thing. There's no swimsuit competition. Girls in the competition under the age of 13 are not allowed to wear makeup. And I thought that was kind of nice. So one of the things they have to do is they're graded 30% of their total score is their ability to do a public speaking. They have to do a personal introduction. And the other 30% is they have to do an interview. So it's teaching them a lot of skills that a lot of young women are going to need when they go out into the working world. Not just young women. I mean, people of all ages being able to speak in public, being able to do an interview. These are life skills that are practically necessary in our culture. And I foresee that still being the case 10 to 20 years down the road. So that was kind of what was wonderful about that.
Well, when I was in Anderson, South Carolina, and I was in college, when that song was put out, I actually was one of the. I went out for Miss South Carolina
Oh, really?
to be for the Miss USA pageant. So I totally understand.
Right.
It's a scholarship situation.
Yes.
I had my platform. I did the whole I did the whole 9 yards. Now they did have a swimsuit portion, and I was quite a bit younger and quite a bit smaller at that point, but as we all were,
As we
back
all were,
then. But yeah, no, it was really kind of interesting, and I don't know if I have it behind me or not. Oh my gosh, I wish I had it right here. Anyways, needless to say, we had this thing. They did this like opening act where we had to come out in uniform, and somebody in a uniform of some sort, to be like, yay, 19, we're going into World War II kind of situation.
Oh.
So my grandmother was in the British Air Force in World War II.
Oh, wow. That's
And
impressive.
so, yeah, and so she let me borrow her uniform, and which she was tiny. I cannot believe I fit in that dang thing. But and she was probably, because she lied about her age to get into the armed forces. And
okay.
so instead of being 18, she was 16. That's why she was freaking tiny. And so she met my grandfather during that point in time, and they got married, and obviously had lots of, my mother, and that's where I came from. But I got to wear her uniform, and I can't remember who did this for me, but I wish I had it. Where's that stinking thing? It's around here somewhere. Anyways, I will have to show this to you. I will get it during the break, and I will show it to you.
Sure.
But it's a picture of me in the uniform during the pageant, like right before the pageant, and then her in the uniform, and it's like a side by side, and it's just it just blessed my heart. Now I didn't win. I should have won the stinking talent portion, because those people, whatever. We still have some. There's still some things, but still, whatever. We still have some wonders. But needless to say. But just to have that moment, and I tell you what it did for me. I'm dyslexic, and I spread that widely. I'm dyslexic. I have learning disabilities. I have in English and in languages. But that doesn't stop me. Like, I've got a master's. I go on. You just work as hard as you need to work to get where
Exactly.
you want to go. Yeah, you just have to work harder. It's okay. Not a big deal. But what it showed me was that I might have a learning difference, but who I am was not disabled.
Correct.
Who I am is me.
It doesn't define you.
It
Right.
doesn't define me. Exactly. And so
Correct.
that really helped me, because that was my platform, obviously. That's a great platform. And so I went and helped people learn how to read and did all
Wonderful.
these things for the community, and it really built within me the understanding to how to help.
Right. How to give
Yes.
back, how to have
How to
charity.
give back, how to help.
Mhm.
It really, really helped me there. And so that was beautiful. So completely understand that. Completely. That is awesome. So I do have a few questions. So I want to know, because we just give me like one thing that is like your quirkiest thing about you personality wise.
Well, quirky thing about me personality. Well, depends on
Yeah.
who you're talking to on what day. I think if you spoke to everybody in Ohikada, they're going to give you a different answer. If you talk to my wife and my sister, they'll give you a different answer. If I had to do a fourth step evaluation of myself, if I had to do that, I would probably say that when I go working out, like if I go for 3-mile runs or 15-mile bike rides or walks or something of that nature, I tend to have headphones on, and a lot of times I'll be doing like a lot. I'm enrolled in the Jamie Vendera Vocal Academy, and I'll be doing a lot of the exercises, or I'll start, maybe listening to like Ohikada songs, and I'm like trying to see if the lyrics I wrote are fitting the music, and then it helps me try to memorize them. So sometimes, though, if you didn't know better, you would see me coming at you. I would probably look like an insane person, kind of like, depending if what I'm doing. If I'm singing in the metal band URN, and I have literally for decades, I have seen people cross the street, a block or two ahead, because it's like, I do not want any of whatever that guy is on. And it can be kind of funny. So I have to say, if it was quirky. So even my daughter has figured out, my sister cracks up laughing. My wife has figured out, now my daughter. It's like, who are you talking to in your head? I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again, aren't I? So it's like, I tend to have all these animated conversations. My head will jerk, my hand, and I'm having a field day inside my head. And,
that's absolutely beautiful.
So I don't know what it looks like from the outside, but I imagine it's got to be very entertaining. So.
I'm sure. Somebody needs to videotape this. And
I'm sure my wife has done
to.
it. She just hasn't shared on social media to spare my dignity, but I'm sure she's got blackmail on me, and she absolutely needed it. What is dignity?
Dignity?
There's
we
no
don't have
such thing.
Dignity.
No.
We're performers. We have no dignity.
Right. You have to compromise that in yourself to get up on a stage, let me tell you.
I know, right? I know, dude. No dignity. Zero. So the hardest thing about music and the best thing about music.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand.
I know, absolutely.
I'd say that the answer to that question, just being semi-serious for a minute, is the thing about, and I was having this conversation with my wife just before we came on the air, there's a difference between passion and emotional. You could be passionate with emotion, but there's a difference when you do something emotionally or you do it with emotion. And I think the best thing about music is, for those of us who have fallen into the life, for lack of a better way of saying it, where music touched you in a way, you knew it's who you were, you knew it's what you wanted to do in some fashion or another. You picked up your instrument, or you sang a song or something of that nature, and you simply, it touched your soul, and you felt the need to want to touch other souls with it. Kind of like your own personal catharsis, but the same token, also kind of connecting with other like individuals. And it gives you a sense of community. It gives some people, gives them a sense of purpose. I don't think my music defines me totally. So it gives me a purpose, but not a purpose. But I think the problem of it is that sometimes if you have been blessed to have a modicum of success, sometimes you get to travel and you get to meet all these incredible people that you would otherwise would never meet. You meet people in faraway countries speaking different languages, and then you find that almost everybody's the same. Like you played our song, The Road to St. Patrick's, the last time we were on back in February. And the last verse, the last couple stanzas, it was kind of talking a little bit about, I had written it several years ago, like 10, 12 years ago, but as you were saying with your song Faith, it still holds true today. And the lyrics go, hatred almost seems to brew every single day. But it goes to, the more you look, the more you'll see that we're all the same. And that was the cool thing about music is that, like, when I've had the opportunity to tour in countries like Mexico and and getting to see people in their home environments, you start to realize that they're not any different. They're in different countries that I've been blessed to travel. And everybody, they have their struggles, they have their concerns, they have their anxieties. And I think what music does is kind of alleviates it, but that's the beautiful thing. But as a double-edged sword, conversely, sometimes it takes you away from your family. We don't tour as much anymore. You're going to have my metal band URN on next month, so I'll maybe talk a little more about this in that interview. But that's kind of more what it is that while you're out engaging with other souls and other peoples, it kind of takes you away from home. So one of the things that I always try to impart to my daughter is life is what's always going to take you outside your door and let you experience the world, but love is what always brings you back home.
Absolutely.
And that's really, I think, the good and the bad of music.
When speaking of your daughter, the next song we're going to hear is called "When the Rain Has Fallen," and
Yes.
you said it was about your daughter. So tell us about that
Yes.
one.
Well, basically, it was about the time I learned that my wife had told me that she was going to be coming into our lives, and it was basically about the time when I held her, about the covenant that I made with my higher power to try to be the best father I could be, and to make sure that I am doing the things I need to do right by my loved ones, and it just kind of also the stereotype, when you're a younger musician, particularly if you're in a metal or like the goth scene, and you're touring around the world, usually the quote unquote kiss of death was having a family. If you ended up getting your girlfriend pregnant, or you got knocked up by your boyfriend, depending which gender you were, that once that child came into your life, your career as you knew it was over. So, and I think that was just a very narrow, archaic view of things. And I think
Very.
that's kind of what it was, is that it was kind of me looking back on all of those archetypes that were kind of being, introduced to me. And I'm not going to say forced upon me, but when you've had a level of success and you play at the major leagues in the music industry, you're going to get agents, you're going to get producers, you're going to get people that are going to try and mold you in a certain way that they can market you. And if they don't want anyone that's tethered down, that you don't have a family back home and things of that nature. But I learned at a very young age on a couple of major tours when I was 24, 25, 26. One of the profound things was we had a road manager, if you will, took care of all the backline equipment, making sure the gear was set up. And one of the things he told me was, and I'm probably a good 10 years older now than he was then, but he said to me, there's going to be a point where the show's going to be over. You're going to turn off the lights. You're going to have to pack up your amplifier. You're going to have to leave, and they're going to lock the doors. You have to ask yourself two questions. First question is, do you have a place to go home to? Because believe it or not, back in those days, a lot of musicians, touring musicians, you live below the poverty level, because they encouraged you to do that so you could just stay on the road all year. I mean, they were making the money, you weren't. But the second question was, more importantly, is there somebody waiting for you when you get to that home? And I thought that was very profound that he said that to me at a very young age.
Question, yeah.
So, and that's kind of what a little bit what Empty Promises was about, was kind of hearkening to that. Is there going to be somebody waiting for me when I get home? I think there's a lot of musicians, unfortunately, they don't. They go home to an empty apartment or an empty house, or maybe they didn't even go home at all. They sleep in their vehicle. I've known a few that have lived that lifestyle, the gypsy caravan, if you will. And I think what this song was about was having her in my life and kind of starting anew, and I kind of put a lot of allegories into the lyrical content on that. And we'll let your listeners listen to it and see what they think.
That's beautiful. Well, you're going to dance with us, and then we're going to have you back.
Yes.
And we might even have somebody else with us. That'll be
I think. I'll check.
And we shall see how that works.
Yes.
But for this moment, bye. What's it like to have two Rebeccas on the screen at one time? It's kind of weird, right? It's a little weird for me. I'm like, oh my God, that's my face. That's so crazy. Well, as I said before, URN is not with us today because quite a few of them have COVID. And so we're going to be praying for them to get better and better and better and better, them and their families. But we do have, we do have that pre-recorded interview from last month with Ohikada. So that's a beautiful thing to have, correct? Obviously that song won't be played because I would like to play you more songs than just the ones you've heard before. So we are actually going to listen to Halo in the Midnight Sky by URN. And then we're going to listen to Sur les ponts. Oh, I did good. Did you hear that? I did good. Sur les ponts. I did good. That's right. By Marant. They're French. It's from an album called Fell. Beautiful instrumental pieces. They have just some of the most beautiful instrumental pieces you've ever heard before. And then we're going to listen to Red Haze 20 by Eric Parker. Eric was one of the people that we've played with for years and years. He is one of Samuel's best friends in the whole world. So I cannot wait for you to hear this amazing music. You ready? All right, here we go.
Hard to see a growing hunger, everything on his plate. No will for power, no appetite to satiate.
Fireflies in canyon wind, carried on devil's wings, like locusts, they descend and devour everything.
With haze in the hills, rains ash from above. Ignorant and careless, punishment without a judge. Hit a fire flame that not discriminate. Scalding winds of change falls to a vacuum.
Fireflies in canyon wind, carried on devil's wings, like locusts, died from the smoke, cremated in this hateful joke.
And that, my dear, is Eric Parker. Awesome, awesome. Just saying. So, yeah, I'm asking questions. The dragon is me. I'm the dragon lady. And so you can answer them and be on the show. That's right. Now, the only comments I can actually put on the show are the ones that are being put into the YouTube channel. So sometimes Facebook kicks us off early. So please, 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 if you guys want to be on the show with your comments, you can go to youtube.com/C for channel /Celtic Rain, and we will be able to I'll be able to put your comments up even during the interview, just saying. So if there's like comments you want to make about Hikata or URN or any of those. So yeah, so that's going to be really great. But we are going to have our last recorded interview right now with our beautiful friend that we've been getting to know. So here we go, guys. You ready for this? All right, let's do this thing. Yeah, I know. I don't know what to say, but there you are. Hey, but we have back with us one last time for the evening. Not forever, but for the evening.
For the evening.
Yes. Hey.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us during the music. It has been a blast.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
I love just kind of getting with artists and like seeing their goofy side and just like having the best time with them. You get to know their personalities really, really well.
Indeed.
It's really cool. I like props. I'm a prop girl. So like I like go crazy with props. It's hilarious to me. But that's just where I am. You know. It gives you something to do. Just say it.
It does.
You can only do this so many times.
True. I mean, it does get a little, you don't want to say monotonous, but it kind of gets predictable and you don't want to get into that too much.
I know, right? And I keep playing with my pen because, well, Samuel bought this pen for Tyson because it has the periodic table on it. And you ready?
Oh, God. Yeah,
it's in the pen!
My dad was a chemistry major. Well,
it's in the pen!
My dad was he's considered one of the brilliant minds of the tire industry. And being a chemical engineer, I had to kind of recite the periodic table elements before I got to eat dinner growing up. So it was kind of crazy.
So what you're saying is that this is a bad memory.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it kind of comes in handy. I mean, you know, it's like every now and again.
Maybe.
Yeah, Jennifer. Some of you might remember Jennifer, our fiddle player. She's
like an actual you know. She's like an actual rocket scientist, right?
Yes, she is. Mm-hmm. And some of you might have caught her. She was just on The Hustler last week, the ABC mystery show. And so I'm not going to, if you hadn't seen it, I'm not going to talk about it. But she was just on there. And but yeah, she does a lot of things. And she builds rockets, and then she builds crotch rockets that she goes flying around Florida on. But she couldn't join us tonight, unfortunately. She had a previous commitment. But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of one of those cool things that she can do. So sometimes her and I like to bounce, like we try to quiz each other on the periodic table of elements. Like, well, what is K? Well, that's potassium. What's Pb? That's lead. You know, give us the formula for table salt. You know, sodium chloride, Na plus Cl. You know, it's kind of nuts.
You should write a song. Just saying. I mean,
I promised myself I would never do that. Because you want to write a song that people can gravitate to. I mean, unless you want to appeal to all these chemistry geeks, which it's fine. They deserve a song.
Hey, there's a lot of those. There's actually a lot of those.
True.
On top
Yeah.
of that, you do realize, like, okay, so we sing a lot of Tom Lear. Do you know who Tom Lear is?
I'm not familiar with. No, I apologize.
So Tom Lear wrote "Poisoning Pigeons in the Park" and "I Hold Your Hand in Mine." He was kind of a 1950s, 40s music writer, but he was at first he was a he he was a scientist, and
Oh,
he made more money at writing music because he wrote these hilarious songs that were about love and dismemberment.
oh
It was
jeez.
beautiful.
So basically, he
And
would
but
influence a death metal band like Carcass after a while, you know. So,
but it was very Adams Family like. So it was
oh,
like
okay.
very. So me and Samuel we have a Ren Fair group called the Loot and the Lady,
Oh, very
and
cool.
we're I'm a black widow who can't seem to kill her husband, and he's an asinine musician who can't seem to die.
Yeah,
And
that's hilarious.
right? And we do a lot of Tom Lear. He was played a lot on. Oh, I can't think of the guy's name. Oh, whatever. There was a radio show that played a lot of Tom Lear. So a lot of people know Tom Lear and don't realize it's Tom Lear.
I might be
So
one of them.
and it's
So, yeah.
it's extremely lyrical. You know, Poisoning the Pigeons. It's very Broadway-ish
Gotcha.
kind of
Okay.
music. But he wrote this song about the periodic table, and he puts them. They're all in there. It's really crazy, but
I'll
it's
have to listen
amazing.
to it. That's yeah.
You will have to. You will have to listen to it. So now we get to this. Obviously, you're not writing music about periodic tables,
Not at the moment, no.
but you are writing music.
Yes.
So where can we find that music?
Well, for the most part, again, I won't talk about URN because that's next month. But for Ohikada, if you're liking what you're hearing on the show, and on behalf of all of us, we thank you for that. You can pretty much find us. We have our own YouTube channel to which we have the production video for our single, "The Road to St. Patrick's." Once we get a little more settled in our calendar, we do plan on shooting another video for the song "Autumnal Sunrise," which you played on your show back in February.
Yes.
So you can find us. Like I said, you have the Facebook banner going on right now, which is right now it's our flagship website, ohikadamusic.com, and that's where you're able to find a lot of our live videos. April, my partner and I, she's performing tonight in Orlando, and wasn't able to make tonight. But usually you can find our individual and our duo performances. We tend to Facebook Live and IGTV a lot of the performances. And then eventually we're going to get our own website up once we get a little more settled. We plan on recording an album in November with a lot of the songs that you're hearing. And then what we'll try to do is kind of re-release a lot of the back catalog from under the Ohikada moniker. Plus, we've got about 2 or 3 new songs that we're working on as well. So that mostly you can go there. Like I said, if you follow our metal band URN, a lot of these songs are currently under there. We're kind of migrating everything over still. Pandemic kind of sets you back like everyone else. But that's mostly where you
Understandable.
can find us at this time. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Do you have any gigs coming up? Anywhere we can see you play?
God, yes. 1 second, please.
Tell
So,
us. Give us the information. And then
so-
send it to me so that I can put it on the calendar.
Yes, there's a lot there. So I will be solo, not this upcoming weekend, because URN, we're going to be recording drums, and I'll talk more about that next month. But for those of you that are in the Melbourne, Florida area, believe it or not, I actually don't leave Brevard County for once. So on Thursday, July 29th, I'm going to be over at Social Distance in Satellite Beach. So I'll be there Thursday night from, I believe, 8 to midnight. Friday, I turn around and make my debut at the Crafty Crane. Special thanks to Scott and everybody. We're looking forward to that. And then the Saturday, I'm playing up the hill at Pub Americana, which is located downtown, and we'll be there. Now, if you're interested in Ohikada, I believe we perform as an acoustic duo. April and I join forces again. The next scheduled gig isn't until September the 9th. Again, at Social Distance. But then we get ready for the halfway to St. Patrick's Day, because that's a thing I don't know if a lot of people realize it. So just as much as Irish and Celtic musicians play on St. Patrick's Day, halfway to St. Patrick's Day is equally as insane. So we'll be at, I'll be performing solo at Tate and O'Brien's on September 17th, halfway to St. Patrick's Day. And then I'll be at Tirnanog in Daytona Beach after that. And then I turn around the next day and do the whole thing all over again, but with the full band of Ohikada. And then we will also be performing at the new Two Angry Wives location at Cocoa Village. And that'll be Ohikada, but in an electric band set, not acoustic, but we're going to bust out the electric guitars and kind of hit you in the teeth. And then we'll be at a couple of other places, social distance all around. And then further down the road for Ohikada, we have been confirmed. We're going to be performing at the Dunedin Celtic Music and Beer Festival on November 20th. That's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And I'm sure there's going to be a couple of others that we've been in talks to that may confirm, but that's what we've got right now. So that's where we're going to be live. So for those of you in Orlando,
send that to me.
I will.
And
I'm going to
I'll
email
put it
that
on
to
there. You guys go to the group and you'll be able to find it.
Yes.
Go join the Celtic Rain radio show group and you'll find it.
I'll get you all that. And then, of course, April's performing tonight at, I don't want to say it was Toro's. I think it's at Burton's. That's where she is tonight. And she's there every third Thursday. So it just happened that the show lined up on a day that she was already booked.
Nice. But, well, we have a song from you called Epiphany. Tell me about Epiphany.
Well, Epiphany was the title track of that album, which was the last URN release. And but we kind of cascaded it into a Ohikada, if you will. And what it really is that it surmised basically what all of us were going through at that time. We've been a very blessed band in terms we were basically performing 150 shows on a mean average a year between the years of 2003 into 2011, 2012. And we got to tour with a lot of incredible people. We got to meet a lot of our influences and our heroes, whether it was from Tarja Turunen from Nightwish to Typo Negative to what have you. And then, but life kind of changed. You know, we were living like a prolonged adolescence, if you will, as our guitarist Chris the Troll would say. And then what we kind of realized was that we knew we kind of had to move on to the next phase of our life. You know, we had a very excellent run for about a good 7-8 years there. Got major label distribution, got on major tours, got to meet a lot of people, make a lot of fans. And then, but that was kind of we started to learn a little bit about ourselves, so about who we were as people, what we were looking for. And a lot of us ended up finally getting married, having children and settling down, and kind of where we're at today. And that's kind of what Epiphany was, is what we learned about ourselves on that journey. And that album was kind of a culmination of a bunch of songs that kind of, we wanted to kind of share that with everyone. This is what we learned. This is who we've discovered, you know, and, you know, it was a journey of self-discovery on an individual level and as a collective level as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is different. Being a young musician is so much different than being one that's seasoned and knows where they want to go, but at the same time has a family and says, okay, what's the balance here?
Exactly.
You know, what's the balance? Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, at the end, you'll come back and say goodbye with us.
Sure.
Have a little dancing along the way.
Okay.
But until then, we say goodbye for the moment. You guys, that's actually the last time tonight that we will hear from him. Because this was pre-recorded. As I said before, please keep him and his family and the band in your prayers because they have COVID. So please, 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 let's do that. We have 4 more beautiful songs for you, and then we do get to say goodnight. We have from URN, we have Prolonged Desire. And then we have Helpless by Adam Long. It's kind of a folk music, vocals, keys situation. Really awesome. Then we have A Zero Light 30 by Victor Sierra. Industrial rock steampunk song. And our last song will be Lonely Night by Scream. It's a heavy metal tune with very melodic vocals, though. It's amazing. Their vocals are really amazing. So I hope you enjoy this, and let's just end the show with a lot of fun. Here we go.
again, my friend. Do you have some time to spend? Have a perspective from which to lend? Mired in a disturbing trend. That I should do. Show me how to seize the day before it all slips away. I know what you're going to say, for it's a choice that I have made, assuring you that it's not that way, no matter how it seems portrayed. Of agony seems the way that I should be. Tell me if it's preconceived, infected by this disease. It courses through with such ease. I'm falling even further down, and in my sorrow I shall drown. Please the spirit and the mind, not a trace will you find, robbing me of all my dwelling in prolonged despair. I
sing a frozen tear to start falling. The sea is wild and dangerous here, sweet tasting wine poisons dreams. Your net of gold has captured me, pulling me from sheltered distant thunder rolls. I'm afraid I'll be alone, and it's frightening. I'm abandoning my quiet home. Distant thunder rolls. I'm afraid I'll be alone. So strangely, it reminds me of a girl I'd known. I can smell the coming rain. My entire world is swept away. Yearning eyes embrace my thighs. In my soul I scorn this The rising sun has disappeared. You're the first light I've seen in years. All I've known, proven wrong. Here's your apple, go on and teach me. Distant thunder rolls. I'm afraid I'll be alone. Destiny deceiving my naive soul. Distant thunder rolls. I'm afraid I'll be alone. You gave me life. I need to live and breathe you, taste and feel you, twisting my insides and pulling me close. Now I need to live and breathe you, taste and feel you, twisting my insides and pulling me close. catapult missiles in Cuba. Mushrooms grow in everyone's head. Smiling movie stars posed in legendary cars. No one knew what lay ahead. War thunders were left out in the past, and music was so young. They enjoyed white light, sex and driving fast. In a flash the song was sung. The world changed at 0 light 13. Such a long time ago. The scene is blurring. Innocence and hope left the building. In the cold sunshine, in full swing. Dark forces wait always in the wings, with safety catches off. Does not matter who might have pulled the strings when the going got so rough. The world changed at 0 light 13. Such a long time ago. The scene is blurring. Innocence and hope left the building. In the cold sunshine, in full swing. Was cut short, the dream was over in 20 seconds of fire. The world changed at 0 light 13. Such a long time ago. The scene is blurring. Innocence and hope left the building. In the cold sunshine, in full swing. The world changed at 0 light 13. Such a long time ago. The scene is blurring. Innocence and hope left the building. In the cold sunshine, in full swing.
that is our show for today. I am so excited. This was a great show. We will have URN back on when they get better and they feel better. You guys, we're praying for you. Get better, right? This COVID thing, man, just needs to stop so that we can have our people back. It is the Celtic Rain radio show. We thank you so much for being here. If you do have music to send me, you can send it to celticrain777@gmail.com. Please, please, please like the YouTube channel so that you'll know when we will be coming on. We're always here on Tuesdays, live recording, so you can actually go back and go to the playlists and watch all the past YouTube, all the past shows that we've done so far since February. Literally, that's when we started. This was February. Pretty awesome, right? I know. You can go to youtube.com/C for channel/Celtic Rain, and you can like it and have a great time. We thank you so much for coming, and we cannot wait for you to see us next week. Thank you, and goodbye. Bye.